Hello, welcome on Travels and Code channel. Today, in this video, I will show you how can we debug your JavaScript application in Chrome browser. So, what do we need to start? First of all, we need some JavaScript application. Here we have application, is index.html file. This one, we have one JavaScript file included, shared.js. And we need browser. In our case, it's Chrome browser, and I will show you how can we test your application. Debug. Debugging, it's approach when we try to find bugs in your application, some bottlenecks, and solve them. So how can we do it? First of all, we run our application and we see it's doing something. How can we debug it? Let's start from the simple way. We have index.html file. Let's take a look what's going on here. We have button. When we press this button, we call function test. What can we do? First of all, we can use for debugging, we can use console log. Let's try to use it. Console log. Console log is a function which will output to console some information. In our case, we want to show this string. How can we see result? To see some results, we need to open developer tool. How can we do it? To do it, we need to, usually I click its right button on your mouse or two fingers press on your MacBook, and here we see inspect. When we click inspect, we will see developer tool which shows information about your application. Also, you can open this tool by clicking function F12. It's doing the same. And what can we see? Let's take a look. What we need first of all is a console. Console is a place where you can run your JavaScript and get some result. For example, you can put 1 plus 2 and you will have this result. So we added logs to button click. Let's try to click it. So we clicked the button and we see this result. Button is pressed. We can click on the path, and in source tab in the next one we will see where this comment was called. In our case it's highlighted yellow and we see that console log, and we see some result. Console log is a very popular approach for debugging and many developers use this approach. It doesn't matter really are you a junior or even more senior developers using this approach. But I will show you one more approach, more popular and more convenient, because in this case you can see some temporal values of data. For example, what was start date when we press the button? I don't know. What was happened there, I have no idea. But first of all, let's take a look on this developer tool and we'll learn how it works, at least something basic. What we need? Elements tab. The first one, it shows HTML markup of your page. It's a DOM, your DOM, what is built, what browser theme. You can press this select element item and you can choose any item on the page, and then it will be found in your DOM. But right now we won't use it. The most important two tabs for us for debugging is console and sources. Console is our JavaScript output. We can see everything in this tab, and sources shows our code. What do we have? We have index.html. It's our file we saw in IDE, and we have shared.js. Shared.js, it's a file which is included in our code and we can use it here as well. So the next case, how can we debug our application? We can use debugger. I will show you two options how we can install debugger. The first one is in the code. You can put semicolon or not, doesn't matter. Let's reload our application. So what do we see? Right now it's nothing, but let's try click run test again. Let's click it. What do we have? We have that it was paused in debugger. Right now, execution of our JavaScript code was paused on the point where we set. Right now it's line 77 and execution is paused. What can we see on this step? First of all, let's take a look on the right panel. What do we have? We have call stack. We see that when this function was called and the parent. So we have test function and it was called through onClick. When we go to this function, we see that on button was onClick and we call test function. It shows us the path when this function was executed. The next one, what is important, we see the scope. Right now it's our local scope, we have this and we have event. Let's take a look, what do we have? Event, because of it was a click, we have event and we can see that it was a mouse event, we have coordination and we have some information, it was button, view, all this information. Additionally, we have global scope. We can check all variables in global scope. It's a very convenient and useful tool. We have global listeners. Right now we have load because of in our code. Let's see. On load we run init. In this case we can see this event listener. The next one, how can we skip it? We can press this button or press F8, or in the same case we have this button here. Let's click it and now we continue execution of our code. Let's take a look what can we do the next one. First of all, I said that when we press the button I want to know value of this variable. Let's click again, we are start here again. So very important approach here that you can hover mouse on any variable and you will see result. In our case, when I hover on start time, I see that start time it was April 12, 2020 and time. Additionally, I see setup function and in right panel we have watch section, and in watch section we can add some variables we want to watch. Let's add variable, for example, start time. It means that we will see how this variable is changing during execution. We can click and when we press again we see that we have this variable current value. Okay, the next, what we can do, we have a few buttons for debugging. We can step over the next function call, go into the next function call, step out of current function and some other. First of all, let's click this one. We will go to the next function call. We see that after debugger we go to if and we can go step by step of execution of our code and see result. For example, we can hover on worker and we see some value of this object. Let's go deeper and now we stopped. Let's skip it or we go somewhere too deep. And now we went to some plugin we are using in our Chrome. And it's a great place to show you one feature of this tool. On the left bottom we have button pretty print. Right now, as we see, we have minified JavaScript code. It's one line and it's not convenient to read it and we don't understand what's going on here. But let's press this button. Let's wait for a while because it's a big file, and what do we see? This file was formatted and now it looks much better and we can see some result. The next one, what I want to show you, when we see such file we can add breakpoints by clicking on the line. For example, when you click on the line we will set breakpoint, and when code will be executed and go through this point, execution will be stopped and we can monitor our data. What do we have? But it's not our file, and let's go away from it. Let's go to our files. We have index.html and shared.js. Let's go to our file shared.js, for example, and let's go to function time, for example. In function time, we won't put breakpoint before return. We want to know what's going on, what we return from this function. And for example, we want in function source. Let's reload our application. What do we see? We are in source function and we have a parameter s. What is this? We see that it's as undefined. So developer tools shows this undefined, and we can check self. Let's highlight this variable, and if you want to see some value, you can hover on this property and you will get result. We have undefined. It means that we will go to else statement and we will return thread. To check it, let's set debug point here and click next. And as we expected, we go to this section. Let's go next, and next we have time function. What do we have? We can get now time. We can get result of this regular expression, and we will have some for cycle. Let's put, for example, breakpoint here, and as a result we will have this value. Let's hover and see. So we can hover on variable and get value of this variable, and we can hover, for example, some calculation operation, and we will get the final result with milliseconds. Yep. Yes, we have this value. Let's go to the next. And we are again in this function. The next, what I want to show you, if we set a few breakpoints, we need to go over and over through these points, and it's not very convenient. To stop doing that, for example, you can press button Deactivate Breakpoints. It will be blue, and right now when you use your code, you won't be stopped on any point of your code, and it helps you to debug, because of when you have a lot of breakpoints, you don't want to stop over and over. For example, let's remove all these breakpoints and just stop in the cycle. Let's activate it again. We are here, and for example, we are not in the cycle anymore. Yes, and again we are here. When we are stopped in the cycle, we will be stopped all milliseconds count. Milliseconds length. It's 2 minus 3. Okay, here's some calculation, and we will stop all time. So if you don't want to stop all time, you can remove breakpoint or just disable debugging and go next. Also, here is that we have the same formatted value of the code. It makes it better for reading. And we can see all files what are involved in working this script. And that's it, what I wanted to show you, how you can use debugger dev tool of Chrome to check your code, find some bugs and fix them. Also, just I want to mention that the same tool you can use in Firefox. They have the same tool you can use, it's very similar. Also in Opera browser, right now they're using the same WebKit driver, and there is absolutely the same Chrome extension. You can use it. So subscribe for my channel, and soon there will be more interesting videos. Have a good day.